So these are the two luggage bags I used to pack my life away from South Africa to Japan 2 years ago. And in this video, I'll be sharing with you what you can expect to find in Japan, what you should pack, and answering some of the questions you may have. So in case you're wondering, should I pack my toothpaste? Should I pack my hair products? Do they have my makeup shade? Should I pack casual clothes? Should I pack all my shoes? In this video, I'll be sharing with you what I wish I knew then and what I would probably do different having known what I know now. So sit back and So first things first, I would pack very little of my casual clothes, primarily because that when you move to a country like Japan, East Asia is a bit more conservative in their dress sense, especially in the countryside and especially in the area that I live in. So I'm in the countryside in Fukui. I would say they dress up more conservatively. The younger kids, like teenagers, maybe varsity students, they do dress up in short shorts. Not to say that adults can't wear short shorts, some of them do, but the vast majority of them wear, I'll share some images of what you can expect from an adult Japanese woman, what they probably wear. I still do wear shorts every now and then. Your dress sense is likely to change. However, if you are a bigger person than I am size 38, South African size, or I think in Europe it would be like 40, 42. So if you're bigger than that, you might struggle with finding clothes at the conventional clothing stores like GU, Uniqlo, and them. So you will need to probably buy online. But I do know that shops like Shimamura do have bigger sizes, but your options are very limited. However, you can buy from Shein, you can buy from Amazon, you can buy from online stores, and the nearest H&M or Zara might be too far. But that is to say that I would pack very little of my casual clothes and pack most of my formal clothes, because when I go to school I wear formal, like semi-casual, semi-formal, not necessarily a suit and tie, though that might be expected from your school, or your situation might be different. My next point, maybe for men these might be different, but for a woman or anybody who has the female body and you have a bigger bust, so you must expect to struggle in terms of your intimate wear. So your bra, you might need to bring most of your bras with you when you come to Japan, because the good quality bras, you're not gonna find it in your size. So if you're like DD plus or E plus, then I would recommend that you come with most of your intimate wear. Buy new ones that you can keep and as backup or later on change into. And a lot of the bras that I've seen in Japan are padded, so if you already have a big bust, you don't want to, some people are not comfortable with wearing padded bras, so you must be conscious of that. And which brings me to the other point, which is shoes. So for shoes, I would recommend that if you are a woman and you know that you have big feet, then maybe come with a lot of your shoes. So you would need indoor shoes at school, slippers or trainers at school, and you would need formal shoes that you can wear maybe from the car to the school, or from, if you're traveling, commuting, then you can wear those ones. So if you have bigger feet than the average woman, then I'd recommend that you do bring a good number of your shoes with you. And also, on the case of intimate wear for women, if you are more of a lace person, you want your Victoria's Secret underwear with not the Victoria's Secret price tag, then I would recommend that you bring that as well, because I found underwear in Japan to be something that is more of a comfort. They're more into comfort more than anything else. So if you want your intimate wear to be a certain type, your lace and your diamonds and your whatnot, then I'd recommend that you bring that with you as well. But you can be able to buy some of them online. And then the next point is, this is for my black folks. So if you're melanated, I would recommend that you bring your own hair products. I know for other people with different hair textures, I've seen online that they struggle to find hair products for curly hair. So that is for white people or any other race that has curly hair. If that is you, then I'd recommend that you do bring some of your hair products for curly hair. Although you might be able to find some hair products online from website like Amazon or iHab, where they have different hair products. Though the options are limited, they do have Cantu on iHab, they do have sheer and moisture on iHab, they do have a Brazilian brand that I've seen other black women recommend on Amazon, and I think on iHab as well. So I would recommend that you go into iHab and Amazon and find what hair products they have. And if those hair products you can't find on online, then you can buy a supply of those up until you can be able to go back home, or you can buy a few and then you will replenish with what you find on iHab or Amazon at a later stage, because money will be tight for months before you start enjoying your salary properly. So I would buy a few of those that I know I can find on iHab or Amazon, and then replenish later on when I'm settled properly. And then another thing is sunscreen. So I found that the sunscreen in Japan is a bit oily for my skin, so I would buy more sunscreen, especially the orange brand that we have in South Africa that I absolutely love, that you can find at Clicks. I'll replenish on those because I know that they are much better for my skin. I'm more comfortable with those, but you can find sunscreen in Japan. And also, I would say bring your own skincare products with you, especially lotion. So lotion that I've heard people complain about is that the lotion in Japan is very liquidy. So it's not necessarily oil based. I'd like to imagine it's more water based than it is oil based. So that might be too thin for some people. So I like a thicker, oily moisturizer. But I do use the Nivea hand cream. Just a minute. I use this Nivea cream, which I found very heavy and very comfortable for me. It's not water based, so it's very thick in a way that I am able to, find comfortable with for my skin. And another thing is makeup. Obviously, if you're melanated, there are only 5 people that look like you in a place like Fukui, so you're not going to find makeup in Fukui or in the countryside. So I'd recommend that you bring your own makeup products, for example foundation, your contouring, your powders, things that have to do with the shade of your skin. So I'd recommend you buy those back home. And if not, then you must know which brands you like, and if those brands you can find online, and then they ship from the US or the UK. So I know brands like Estee Lauder, Fenty does ship to Japan, but you need to know your shade, because even if you go to a store where they have Estee Lauder or they have MAC or they have Fenty, they will not be able to test and tell you which shade. So I'd recommend you find the shade that you want, and then you can buy the foundation when you get to Japan and they ship it over. Otherwise, do bulk buy, not bulk buy, but buy a couple of products, makeup products that you can bring with you to Japan if you are melanated like me, or similar, you know. And I would also say that you need to bring your own toothpaste. So the toothpaste in Japan, I don't know if it doesn't have fluoride, but I just prefer to bring my own toothpaste, and I know other people that prefer to bring their own toothpaste. I've tried toothpaste in Japan and I was not comfortable with it, and so I would recommend that you bring your own toothpaste from home, bulk buy on that. That you should definitely buy a lot of, a lot of toothpaste, a lot of deodorant as well. So buy some deodorant that that can handle the heat and sweating and the humidity. You need a very strong deodorant if you know that you sweat a lot. And in the case of deodorant, I would say that leave your cologne at home. maybe pack one or two, but don't pack a whole. If you have 5 bottles, don't take all of them. That is because that cologne is not a common thing in Japan. They do put like a sort of body scent, but it's very subtle. It's not so in your face. Like, we're not gonna smell you when you walk past or when you walk into the room. So maybe bring 1 bottle. And I know a lot of workplaces do not allow their employees to put on cologne. I know some companies that say no cologne to their employees, and sometimes people do complain when you are around them and you have a heavy cologne or heavy smell to you. You will hear people complaining. So I would definitely advise you to not pack so much of your cologne or perfumes. Maybe one that you can wear during the weekends or when you're going out. That's okay, because everybody's just having fun then. But if you're going to work, then I'd leave the cologne and maybe not pack so much of it, as well as very heavy scented lotions or deodorants. I wouldn't pack any of those. Next, I would say pack your traditional wear. That if you're from South Africa, we have so many traditions. I wish I packed my traditional wear that I could share with the students. I'm sure they would appreciate, being able to have me wearing some of those things, even just to festivals or just for pride, national pride or patriotism on whatever day or events. You could wear your traditional wear. I definitely wish I did pack more of those. And I'd also say pack your head wraps if you're somebody who enjoys wearing head wraps. Websites like Shein have very limited head wraps. They have very limited selections of head wraps, so you can buy online, but they're very limited. So I'd say pack some of those if you are a person that wears head wraps or traditional wear from time to time. So, moving on to foods. So, for foods, I would say that pack your spices. Robertson, Six Gun, Aromat, Yonkinto, Pakishaken. Pack your spices. Not that you cannot find spices in Japan, but you need to hunt them down. You need to find spices that you can pack. I'd say pack them into boxes as opposed to the little glass bottles. So pack the ones in boxes. So pack your barbecue, your chicken, your 6 gun, your aromat, your sauces as well, Mrs. Balls, your chutney. I know they do have Nando's online, but Nando's online is shipping from the UK, so a small bottle is around about 200 to 300 rand, and even so, it takes a while. I would pack my sauces, I'd pack my spices, I would pack my snacks. So with this is one of the few websites where you can find ethnic foods and goods. This is called Shinjuku Halal Foods, and they do deliver all around Japan. One thing that I did forget though, you need to bring maize meal. You can bring maize meal. Pack your maize meal. It goes a long way when you're feeling homesick, and you can just prepare a little bit of pap with a bit of raja here and there. It makes all the difference. So do pack maize meal. It's allowed in Japan, and with 23 kgs, I think you can comfortably pack 1 or 2 kgs into your bag that you can use when times do get tough, because you will miss home. Snacks, when you move to Japan, you will need to bring omiyage. Even when you travel around Japan or just traveling, you bring little food edibles for your colleagues. So I would say bring omiyage. The very important thing about omiyage is that it has to be individually wrapped. So they do prefer that the omiyage, each product is individually wrapped. So each person will get something that's wrapped. So I brought toffees. You can bring feezers. You can bring knickknacks if you have space, like the small knickknacks packs that we used to take to school. If you have space, you can bring that. You can bring your chomp. You can bring, I wouldn't bring Kit Kat because they have a wider range of Kit Kat than we have in South Africa. So maybe not that. Maybe Smarties if you have the small packs. Just small things you could give away to colleagues, give to visitors, your neighbors, or just generally people that you meet along the way. when I came, I brought laser cut Africa maps that my sister made into key rings that I gave away to the English department and some friends. And it still brings me joy when I see, some of my colleagues with those, or some of my friends with those Africa keychains. So if you want some of those laser cut key rings that you can give away very easily and very cheaply, and like for 20, I had like 20, so they were quite a big hit. So if you want any of those, you can contact my sister. I'll share the details on the screen, and she can laser cut some of that for you and post them to you whilst you're in Japan, whilst you're in South Africa, and then you bring them with you to Japan, and they don't take up much space. And next, I would say pack your medication. So if you are somebody who needs some prescription meds, I would say go to the doctor, find a note, and pack some of those. The key here though is that you need to check with the border control requirements if certain ingredients are allowed for you to bring in, because I do know that there are some things that you cannot bring into Japan, and that is not just limited to THC or CBD. There's a wide range of things that you cannot bring, chemicals you cannot bring in Japan in terms of medicines. So you will need to declare them, or you'll need to have a form from the doctor, such things. So definitely check border control. But you can bring things like Panado, Allergex. I mean, don't bring 10 bottles or a liter or like 5 packs, like just a reasonable amount. They do have pain meds in Japan. They have Bufferin for us ladies, or if you're somebody who deals with headaches or whatever, they do have Bufferin that you can find at the drugstore. So I would definitely recommend getting things like Allergex, maybe even Vicks, or yeah, allergics. I'd say allergics are charcoal. When I came here, I brought charcoal because I thought I'd have an upset stomach because my system wouldn't be used to the foods. Because I remember when I traveled to Thailand, I had diarrhea the entire trip, but I didn't need to use the charcoal. It's just been chilling in my wardrobe. So maybe you don't need the charcoal. And then next, I would say bring tampons. So they do have pads, tampons in Japan. The pads are very comfortable, very long. Those ones, please, I love those pads because when you have them on, you're secured for the night. But I would recommend that you do bring tampons, because tampons in Japan are very limited. They don't have a wide range of tampons. I think there's only one company that does tampons, and they have them in these individually wrapped packages. This is a light flow tampon, and it comes in this applicator plastic thing that you have to like poof, and then you put it on. They're very small for me. They're very small. So if you're somebody who's heavy flow, I would recommend you bring some from your country, like South Africa. I think South Africa, we have a wider range, a wider selection of tampons for people that are heavy flow or super flow. So I would definitely recommend that you bring some of these with you when you do come to Japan. I don't know why I still have just this one South African tampon with me. I just have it and I never use it. But I'd recommend that you do bring one of those, or some of those rather. And I would also recommend that you bring things like stockings. So if you are melanated like me, you will definitely not find pantyhose in your shade. So bring your own shade of pantyhose if pantyhose are your thing. And so you are not necessarily required to wear pantyhose when you wear pencil skirt to school, but if it is your thing, you can wear it. You are not forced to wear it. And yeah, I think that's about it. That's what I'd recommend for you to bring to Japan in your luggage. Definitely the clothes, limit them. Um, Unless you know that you'll struggle with your size because you're bigger than me, or you mind buying on things like Shein or AliExpress or whatever. Oh, and one last thing, I would recommend that you bring an adapter. So I bought this adapter at Cape Union Mart, which I absolutely love. It's been a lifesaver, primarily because I travel a lot, and it has all these different settings. It has USA, Australia, Europe, and UK. So it has different outlets. Even in South Africa, it has the South African outlet that I can use. So depending on where I am, I can just switch it up. And in Japan, they use this outlet. They use this outlet too, with little holes there. So you'll need to bring one of the adapters if you have things like a laptop, or you have things like a camera charger that you might not be able to just plug into a USB cable and then use that USB adapter onto the wall. So if you have a laptop charger, then definitely buy an adapter. This one is a bit expensive if I remember correctly, but you can find those, I think, even at Checkers or Game or Macro. So definitely do bring yourself an adapter. And from then, pack them into your 2 luggages. Check your requirements, your airline requirements, how many kgs. I would say buy a hand scale that you can leave with when you pack. After you've packed, then you can weigh the bags yourself, and then you don't have any surprises when you get to the airport. 2 luggages. When you get to Tokyo, they'll probably send these luggages ahead of you to your prefecture, because more often than not, people don't travel with these big as luggages on the trains in Japan, just for convenience and comfort of other people. So they would send these ahead of you, and then you will only be left with like your your hand luggage. And so with that hand luggage, you can move around more freely once you leave after orientation from Tokyo to your prefecture. And also Japan has a lot of stairs, so you don't want to be, pulling 23 kgs. And I mean, they have stairs, my darling. They have stairs. Ask Bushe. They have a lot of stairs. So you don't want to be dragging a 23 kg luggage bag in Tokyo Station with all those people. You need to catch your train. You're overwhelmed. It's your first time in Japan. You know, the whole shebang. So I would definitely recommend that you do send your luggage ahead of time to your prefecture, and then you remain with a backpack or a small check-in bag that you will have your essentials in. But yeah, that's about it. And definitely do carry cash. I wouldn't say carry a lot of cash. So if, for instance, some people recommend that you bring around 20k, 30k, depending on your situation, South African rands. I think that's around, okay, I'm not gonna convert it into USDs because I'm gonna lie. So 20 to 30k South African rands. I wouldn't say have all of that in cash. That is something that I didn't need to do when I was in South Africa. And I feel like the banks took a chunk of my money because they don't usually have yens, so they had to send them in from Joburg to Polokwane, and excuse me, and so that was a whole other arrangement. So I definitely recommend have maybe 5k rands or 10k rands in Japanese yen, and then some of it have it in your card, in your South African bank card, so that you can withdraw. So you will be able to withdraw at a convenience store, maybe in Tokyo, or maybe when you arrive in your prefecture, you can withdraw from your South African account. I do know that with Capitec, you do not have to notify them that you'll be moving abroad, but with banks like FNB and Standard Bank, you have to notify your bank that you'll be moving abroad so that they don't flag your account. You can do that on the app with the Standard Bank app. So you need to notify the bank that you'll be moving abroad so they don't flag your account. Definitely say check your bank account. Check your bank account. When does it expire? Because I didn't check this, and a couple of months after I arrived, my bank account was like, boo, toodles, I am expiring. So I would definitely recommend that you check your bank account. When does it expire, so that you can switch it up or change it up before you leave, and then you have a longer period of usage with your bank card that is connected to your South African account. But otherwise, you can use things like Wise Payment, that you can transfer your money from Japan to South Africa. But you're not there yet. We're still packing. Let me not overwhelm you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you found something useful, and there are some tips that you can use. And yeah, man, welcome to Japan. Well, soon enough. will be welcoming you to Japan. We are in summer, so you do not need to pack your winter clothes. But anyway, see you, take care, and I hope you are so excited for this life changing experience that you have in Japan. Take care of yourself. Goodbye.